is going on, everybody? Tanner Phifer here with Phifer Football. I'm just going to go over my reactions to NFL Week 1. I know that Week 2 starts tomorrow, so I was like, well, what better time to get this out than the day before Week 2 starts? Obviously, there was a lot of things happening in Week 1. Injuries to players, ACLs torn. Guys, just a lot of issues, okay? And I did have something pulled up, but let me exit out of a few things here. I want to go over, basically, I'm not going to make these long videos, probably around 20 minutes or so, if not shorter. It's probably way easier to go over that time limit on accident though, but we're going to go over just I think the highlight games of Week 1, talk about the things that may have surprised most people and things that may not have surprised most people. So here's the thing. Let's see. Go to Week 1 scores for me. Thank you. All right. So Thursday Night Football opened up Week 1. Bills versus the Rams. 31-10. 31-10. Bills all the way. So they scored, 7 points in the first quarter, 3 in the second, 7 in the third, and then 14 in the fourth quarter. The Rams scored 10 points in the second quarter and did nothing after half. Josh Allen went 26 of 31, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also had 10 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, no surprise here. He had 13 catches, over 120 yards, and a touchdown. So honestly, people were like, dang, the Bills are going to be the best team in the AFC for sure. They're going to be Super Bowl winners in 2022. I mean, people are just like, man, the Bills are the team. And the Rams having that Super Bowl hangover, curse. I don't think that's the case. I think that in Week 1, still people are getting out jitters, working out kinks from the offseason. And you got to remember that not every single starter plays in the preseason. And so a lot of times Week 1 for a lot of starters is basically like the preseason game for them. Now, that's not necessarily the case for Josh Allen and guys like Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs. They performed very well. But I do feel like Week 1, you can't overreact. There's still 16 more weeks of football. Saints over the Falcons, 27-26. Big surprise here. The Falcons led up another fourth quarter comeback to an opposing team. And it's a totally different system too. Marcus Mariota is the quarterback. They got a different, I think Arthur Smith is still the head coach, but guys, it's just like that team is cursed in fourth quarter comeback since that Super Bowl. Cordell Patterson did have 22 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Jameis Winston did get injured once. I think he went to the blue medical tent. I don't know if he came back out, but he ended up going 23 for 34, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry, first game as a New Orleans Saint, 7 catches, 114 yards. So really good performance from Jarvis Landry. And but they did end up beating the Falcons by 1 point. The Bears, this one may be surprising to some people, not surprising to me. I'm not high on the 49ers at all. They have a great defense, sure, but I just don't think that they're just a Super Bowl caliber team. And I get bashed on that. And I'm not trying to sound biased towards any fans or be like, oh, it's just because I don't like the 49ers or I don't like the 49ers fans. That's not why. I'm just telling you from a roster standpoint, just from my gut feeling, I don't see the 49ers as a Super Bowl caliber team. Trey Lance, 13-28, 164 yards and 1 interception. He did have 13 carries for 54 yards. That's a lot of carries for a quarterback, especially your first game starting for your first full season starting. Jimmy Garoppolo is still with the San Francisco 49ers. He had a reworked deal. So it's just things like that. And to me, them keeping Jimmy G on the 49ers is almost admitting that they don't have full confidence in Trey Lance. That's just my opinion. It is. It truly is. I think they should have traded him, and maybe they did wait till after the preseason till a bunch of quarterbacks got hurt, but they still haven't traded him, and they reworked his deal to keep him here in San Francisco. So it's like maybe they don't have full confidence in Trey Lance. But the Bears ended up winning. I don't even think Justin Fields had that great of a game. But he did throw 2 touchdowns, and they beat the 49ers 19-10. We're going to talk about the Steelers and Bengals game. It went into overtime. Steelers win 23-20. Joe Burrow, how many interceptions did he have? I think 4. He ended up passing 33 of 53, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, but I think he had 4 interceptions. Joe Mixon had 27 carries, but only 82 yards. 27 carries for 82 yards, guys. Not good at all. Let's see what that averages out to. That's not even... Hang on. I may have done the math wrong. It says 3 yards per carry, but I don't even think it was that good, but I guess it was. Jamar Chase, not a surprising stat line from Jamar Chase. 10 catches, 129 yards, and a touchdown. Just amazing game by Jamar Chase. People are thinking like, oh, yeah, I told you Joe Burrow wasn't any good. You overhyped him. That's not the case, guys. Joe Burrow's going to be just fine. I think there was 3 missed field goals at the end of this game. Each team had like 1 or 2 chances to win it in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And then Chris Boswell finally put the game away in overtime. But it was just crazy. That game was nuts. What a great opening week, dramatic game for that. And, that's an NFC North. It's an NFC North bash. It was just awesome to watch. The Eagles and Lions, kind of a boring game. Like, neither of those teams really excite me, but it was higher scoring than I think most people thought it was going to be. The Eagles did end up winning 38-35. That's right. The Lions put up 35 points on that Eagles defense. That Eagles defense is stacked too. Jalen Hurts went 18 of 32, 243 yards. DeAndre Swift of the Lions, running back, 15 carries, 144 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, the Eagles' new wide receiver 1, had 10 catches for 155 yards. What a great performance and debut for A.J. Brown and his new team. Honestly, I did not expect A.J. Brown to have that kind of stat line, especially week 1. I was never too confident in their passing attack, but, he performed really well. The Eagles ended up not scoring any points in the fourth quarter. The Lions actually went on to score 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, but they still ended up losing 38-35 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Patriots, Dolphins. Dolphins beat the Patriots 20-7, dude. 20-7. Patriots, no points in the first half. They had 1 touchdown in the third quarter, and that was the end of their scoring. They are 0-1. Damian Harris, running back for the Patriots, he rushed 9 times for 48 yards. That was it. Tyreek Hill, new wide receiver 1 in Miami, 8 catches, 94 yards. Pretty impressive. Tua Tagovailoa went 23 for 33, 270 yards, and a touchdown. Their defense still performed really, really well, but Mac Jones also did not perform well. The Patriots offense has a lot to figure out. That was a big question mark, I feel like, because their last preseason game, or maybe the whole preseason, the Patriots did not look good. They just at all. And Bill Belichick was like, it's a preseason, we're going to have it figured out, I promise. And they did not have it figured out. Mac Jones went down with a back injury. He had MRIs, and everything came back negative. So good news for Mac Jones. He should be active for week 2. Ravens and the Jets. Ravens put the smack on the Jets, 24-9. Joe Flacco had 59 pass attempts for the Jets. 59. That's insane. I don't know if he's ever had that many pass attempts in his career. He's 37 years old, 370 yards and a touchdown. I think he had an interception or 2, maybe more. I'm just looking at like the base highlights of all these games, so it doesn't tell me all the stats. But if I dig deeper, I can find him, but I'm just trying to give you guys the highlight of each game. Michael Carter, running back, I think he got injured, but he had 10 carries for 60 yards, so that's 6 yards per carry. really impressive there. Corey Davis, 6 receptions, 77 yards. So that was the highlight. He either had the most receptions or most yards for any Jets receiver. Only 9 points. 3 points in the first half, 6 in the second half. Just pitiful. Jaguars, Commanders. Commanders beat the Jags 28-22. Carson Wentz passed for 4 freaking touchdowns. What? 4 touchdowns for Carson Wentz, Commanders quarterback. He had a pretty good debut. I think he did still pass or throw like 1 or 2 interceptions, but he went 27 of 41 attempts, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns. James Robinson was the highlight of that rushing attack for the Jaguars. It was not Travis Etienne. It was James Robinson coming off a torn Achilles, I believe like from week 9 of last year. Undrafted free agent who made the roster a couple years ago. Has just been a stud for this Jaguars team. 11 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. He also had like a 1 or 2 yard receiving touchdown as well. Fantasy performance, he was on my bench. I love James Robinson, but I had to keep him on my bench just because I didn't know how much they were going to utilize Travis Etienne, and Doug Peterson's the head coach there, and I just never liked the way he used his running backs, but he was on my bench and he did good. Christian Kirk, 6 catches, 117 yards in his Jaguars debut. Baker Mayfield takes on his former team, the Browns. So it was Browns versus Panthers. Panthers lost to the Browns 26-24. Baker Mayfield went 16 of 27, 235 yards and a touchdown. I believe he had an interception as well. Nick Chubb, Browns running back, 22 carries, 141 yards. Now here's the sucky thing. Kareem Hunt stole the goal line carries from Nick Chubb. He had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown, and just very unfortunate news for Nick Chubb fantasy football owners, because Kareem Hunt can be a pest, but it's still a very, very talented backfield, probably the best running backs depth chart in the NFL. I can't talk. Anyways, Robbie Anderson for the Panthers had 5 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. That's insane. 5 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. He is a deep threat ball player. We had our very first tie in week 1. Colts and Texans, 20-20. Matt Ryan went 32 of 50. He had 50 pass attempts, dude. 50 pass attempts. 352 yards, 1 touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 31 carries, man. He had 31 carries. I think that's the most out of any running back so far this season. After week 1, he had 161 yards rushing and a touchdown. He also had a few catches, I think. Michael Pittman Jr., fantasy stud. 9 catches, 121 yards and a touchdown. Giants beat the Titans. So many people are high on the Giants, man, and I am just not. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contending team. They're going to be a pest, and they might make the playoffs, year after year, but they are just, I can't stand the Titans, dude. They lack that offensive play style. I really liked when Marcus Mariota was there, but Ryan Tannehill, he's just not a big threat. That offense is not a big threat outside of Derrick Henry. I like Derrick Henry, but you can't literally feed him the ball 30 times a game and expect to win. It's just like he can only do so much. He's human. He can only do so much. It's a team effort. Ryan Tannehill went 20 of 33, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley had a bounce-back game. They are saying this is his comeback year. 18 carries, 164 yards, and a touchdown. He also got, I think, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Sterling Shepard, 2 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Daniel Jones had, I guess, a decent game. I still don't think Daniel Jones is the answer for the Giants. They should have, I don't know. I don't like the depth that they have. I guess Tyrod Taylor is there, but I love Tyrod Taylor, but he's not exactly going to win you a Super Bowl either. But we'll just have to see how the Giants continue to do. But congratulations to Brian DeBall and the Giants franchise on that Week 1 win. I think it's the first time they've opened up Week 1 with a win in years, since I forget what the record was. I'm a huge Packers fan. You guys know this. If you're new to my channel and you didn't know this, I'm a huge Green Bay fan. Vikings beat us, the Packers, 23-7. Just terrible performance all around, but the Packers seem to do that. They did that last year against the Saints opening week, and it was pitiful. Kirk Cousins, 23 of 32, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 20 carries, 90 yards. Justin Jefferson lit us up again. 9 catches, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's just terrible. Terrible, guys. Hopefully, Packers can bounce back in week 2. I realize I have been recording for 15 minutes, so we're going to start reaching that time limit about 20 minutes. So I'm going to hurry up through these next one. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs took no step back. He 360 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, star tight end, 32 years old, 33 years old, something like that. 8 catches, 121 yards, a touchdown. People were saying that Chiefs are just not going to be good anymore. I knew that they were still my favorite to win the AFC, and they still are, especially after week 1. Chargers beat the Raiders 24-19. Derek Carr passed for 295 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had 10 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown in his Raiders debut. Amazing stuff from Devontae, one of the best, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Literally, Sunday Night Football was so boring. Bucks beat the Cowboys 19-3. Dak Prescott, basically fractured hand, going to have surgery. They decided not to place Dak Prescott on the injured reserve. Jerry Jones is hoping he's going to be back within 4 weeks. Don't see that happening, and if he does come back, he's probably not going to perform very well. Leonard Fournette had 21 carries for 127 yards. Mike Evans had 71 yards receiving and a touchdown. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys' offense was pitiful. Absolutely nothing going for them. Russell Wilson takes on his former team, the Seahawks, at Lumen Field. Seahawks beat the Broncos 17-16. The Broncos defense really stepped up that second half and kept the Seahawks offense scoreless. Geno Smith was extremely well-rounded in that game. But Nathaniel Hackett, first-time head coach of the Denver Broncos, he had 3 timeouts and over 30 seconds left. And instead of letting Russell Wilson try to, get some more yards and get the ball out of bounds or use a timeout, because you have all 3, he tried a 65-yard field goal, 64-yard field goal to try to win the game, milked the clock, although it was just stupid. He almost made the field goal. Brandon McManus almost made that field goal to win the game for the Broncos, but it just terribly managed. Rashad Penny, 12 carries, 60 yards for the Seahawks. Jerry Jeudy, 4 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Freaking insane. I'm going to go over some highlight games for week 2, games that I'm excited about. You're going to have Chargers and the Chiefs, another AFC West matchup. I expect a high-scoring game. Both teams are 1-0. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, the next generation of great quarterbacks right there. Looking at these other games, man, I just don't see anything exciting. You got a Seahawks versus the 49ers. That's an NFC West matchup, but both of those teams really bore me. You got Packers and the Bears. Bears are 1-0, Packers 0-1. I do take the Packers to win this and have a bounce-back week, but, don't stay overconfident. It's just never smart to underestimate any team. Titans and the Bills, I'm going to have the Bills winning that game all the way. Vikings and Eagles, I guess, could be exciting for some people. Both teams are 1-0. I'd probably take the Vikings in that, even though I don't want them to win. The Eagles defense is pretty good. The Vikings defense did look good as well, but I think they're going to get their weaknesses exposed, especially with a more mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And the Packers were just not in sync. You got more veteran wide receivers on the Eagles. I think the Vikings are going to have a better test of that defense. That could be a good game, and that looks like it is on Monday Night Football. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Tell me if you enjoyed my kind of cover of Week 1 and highlight games heading into Week 2. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. I appreciate you all listening. If you made it this far, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Stay sweet, okay? Because always love in the comments here, and appreciate you guys very, very much. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. Join the Discord server. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you guys